is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. Today we going to talk about Trevon Duval. One of the main reasons why I'm doing this video is that I did a video about Malik Newman, a guy that got picked up by the Heat and the Lakers and didn't make it to the league. And somebody requested that I do Trevon Duval. I'm just now getting to it, but as long as I get to it, I get to it. I know you guys are going to enjoy it anyway. But this is a guy that went to a D1 college, a college that had a lot of people watching, a lot of people attention, especially the year that he went. They got some of the best prospects, and Trevon was basically the best point guard in 2017 in high school. As we all know that all the high school players don't pan out, and most of them don't make it to the NBA. And even though Trevon was a person that we thought would get drafted, I ain't saying I was, but most people thought he'd be at least a draft pick because of his potential. Ain't like he was a player that was bad or had, a lot of blemishes on his resume. He was a guy that could play, and he was a guy that could run the offense. Was he the best passer? No, but he could control the game. He could control his tempo, and he can, make the passes when need be. And he put up respectable numbers for a college team that was stacked with talent, which is always do every year, it seems like. And he was a guy with a good physical build, nice 6'8", 6'9" wingspan, lanky. You need that now, especially if you're trying to finish. There's a lot of centers now that's very athletic and mobile, and you want to be strong and built, and you want to be able to finish around the rim. A lot of people said that was one of his biggest flaws, was that he wasn't a finesse player. And I think seeing him in summer league and seeing him in a Wisconsin hurry, you guys know I live in Wisconsin, not that far from Milwaukee. I see that he has made strides in these areas, and I think that, when you play in the summer league and the G League, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It just means you have to continue to develop your game. You have to continue to work. And I always try to tell this to people that's trying to make it to the NBA. The worst thing you can do is stop playing basketball or just give up. And I feel like if you're still playing overseas, if you're still playing in the G League, you're only going to get better because you're still playing games and you're playing against respectable opponents. Now, the G League doesn't have the best people. They always down in the G League, but a lot of these players got to find some way to contribute. And the ability for him to move back up to the Bucks position is good because he's on a two-way contract. They can move him up to the Bucks or they cannot, and that's what we're gonna talk about. Can Trevon Duval beat the odds and make it to the NBA and get on the roster? Right now, he's technically on the roster because of the two-way contract, but until he actually plays in the game, he hasn't made it yet. He's been able to get some attention even with the Houston Rockets and some other teams. But I think that he was one of the prospects that a lot of people seen, especially in high school, that he can be potential. But for him to go completely undrafted was a shocker. And it did hurt probably his spirit and everything, because you would think that, you was a highly scouted and recruited player, that somebody will see something in you, somebody will take a gamble on you. And even for him not to make it to the Rockets team just showed you how much work he had to put in. And that's when I look at things like Summer League and G League. Don't look at it as a negative thing. Just like when somebody criticizing you or giving you advice, you might not agree with it, you might not like it, but you got to have the mindset that they're giving you the right intention, which means, if I'm giving you advice, that means I got your best interest. I'm trying to help you out majority of the time. If I'm a real friend, if I'm a real family, I'm going to try to help you out and give you the right advice, just like the Bible or anything. I don't want to see you fail. I want to see you succeed if I'm in your circle. So, not making it to the NBA hurts, and you think that you're good enough. You feel like you're going to make it because how you are perceived by the main scouts and the teams, and to fall completely out of the draft and not get drafted at all is humbling. And that just lets you know, to me, what I'm saying about Summer League and G League, you got to put in more work. And I feel like he has been doing that. His jump shot He's having a lot more confidence in it. He's handling the ball a lot better. He's handling, even with pressure defense. He's not turning the ball over. He's not trying too hard. He's not overthinking, finishing at the rim or what play to make. You just have to go out there and be a little free and just trust your work you put in. And it got you to a G League contract. Some people couldn't even get that. Some people just out of the league completely. At least you have an opportunity that a team likes you and they're interested. You just got to continue to put in the work and have that mentality of just getting better. Reading the scouting reports can't hurt your feelings because it's telling you what you can't do, but just take it as a positive. These people see your weaknesses, make them into your strength. If you know you can't shoot the three, eventually the NBA gonna force you to shoot the three, because if you're not gonna take it, they're gonna build their defense around giving you the three, whether it's in the pick and roll or whether it's leaving you wide open and contesting and clogging in the paint. You have to make these improvements if you want to be one of the best players in the world and get a slot, because the NBA just going to continue to make adjustments and force you to adjust. If you can't adjust, you're going to be a hole on a team. And we've seen that with Rondo and other players, that if you're not going to shoot, we're just going to clear you. We've seen it with Tony Allen. They put a center on Tony Allen because he couldn't score the basketball, and they ended up costing them the series. So you have to continue to put in work. You can't really settle. You have to continue to believe in yourself, and you got to continue to practice and try to implement it in a game, because at the end of the day, it's easy for people to say the NBA is hard to make it, but people don't realize every time you in the league, somebody is watching, somebody is playing, somebody's trying to get better than you. We all live on Earth, and Earth is different times, different things going on throughout the day. So Trevon was one of the best point guards. Some people had him as the best point guard in high school, and now Colin Sexton. A lot of people passed him up just in college alone, and those guys are top 15, top 10 picks. And now he didn't get drafted at all, so he went from being at the top, and then he went to college. He had to start all the way back at the bottom, and then he didn't even get drafted. Kind of remind me of Isaiah Briscoe, another guy that's fighting just to stay and get in the league. And that just shows you that you can't get complacent. You got to continue to put in the work. You got to continue to believe in yourself, but you got to continue to push yourself. And a lot of young people think that it's easy. Like, the scheduling is hard, the traveling is hard. They're very strict and very on you what you're eating and what you're playing. They can tell if you want it. They can tell if you're just doing good enough. And they're going to replace you with somebody in the G League, in Summer League, or even if it's just drafting somebody at your position. You got to continue to put in that work, unless you're going to get passed up and you're going to get removed. I always tell this to young people that when you are in the NBA, you're an asset. And what that means is they're going to try to use you to get to where they're going to go. Every GM job is to get the best roster they can for their team in the summer and throughout the season until it's time after the trade deadline. They're going to try to get the veterans and the buyout. They're going to try to make trades. They're going to scout the overseas players. So you might be good in high school, but in college, and other players that's entering the draft overseas, they're taking up your spot. They're taking up people watching, people now liking them, people starting to get past you, people starting to get over you. So at the end of the day, I think Trevon Duval, him going to the Bucks and him just having the mentality of trying to do the things he can't do while still trying to stay committed to the game that he played, which is handling the ball and getting in the paint, and finishing with layups and dunks. And at the same time, you're still going to have to add that three ball. The game has really went so far with the three-point shot. If you don't have it, it's just so hard to stay in the NBA if you don't bring any other skills. And I don't really see Trevon Duval being an elite finisher in the NBA level. And even if he becomes a solid finisher, he has to have other things in his game to make him play that point guard position, because that's one of the toughest positions. Most of these people can play. Most of these people can shoot. Most of these people is dominant. The NBA is just, every team seems like they got an elite point guard. There's very few teams that don't have a good point guard or a respectable point guard at this point. So that means you got to work even harder so you can take their spot, so you can become a starter. And the fact that they have so many veterans on the market still overseas, even trying to, get in the buyout, even free agents right now. That means you got to continue to work even harder for that, because now they can pick them up over you. So people got to realize it's a business. You're replaceable. You're expendable. And that means you have to continue to stay and work on your game, unless you're not going to be able to make it. Trevon, I feel like he's doing the right things, playing for the Wisconsin Herd. He's playing in the big crowds. He's playing in the big moments, not scared to take over, not scared to go to the rim, still trusting his passing, because he has to improve in that area, because the whole floor is spread out. You have to know when to pass, when not to pass, when to get to the paint, when to kick it out, when to go for your shot. And these things sound easy, but it's harder when you're in the NBA level when everybody is a weapon. You don't play with players of this level if you don't play in the NBA. Everybody is a weapon on the NBA court, especially if you got a good coach and they have one in Mike Budenholzer. And that's something he's definitely going to have to learn with players like Eric Bledsoe, Matthew Dellavedova, and other guys that's on his roster. He has to get to their level to take their minutes and even to get a roster spot. So his work isn't done, and this is going to just help him get better because now he knows, yes, he was great in high school. Yes, he was able to dominate that competition, but he has a long way to go to get that respect level all over again in the NBA, which he hasn't even played a game in yet. But he still is a good two-way player, can score when he needs to, can pick his spots when to score. He needs to be more aggressive, but he also needs to continue to try to soak up as much information and continue to study the film so he can get ahead of a lot of other people in this, in the basketball world, in the NBA. So I think that he has played hard defensively. He has been very sound, and he has been playing a lot more smarter. It's just that he has to take it to another level if he wants to get that roster spot. I don't think he's going to make it. I'm not giving up on him. I'm not saying he's trash. I'm not saying he's garbage. I just feel like he's such a raw prospect at this point. He's going to have to work significantly harder than everybody else just to make it on the roster. And even if he makes it on the roster, can he crack rotation? If he crack rotation, can he become one of the starters on this team? And that looks so far away right now. But at the same time, if he trusts and believes in himself and continue to put in the work, anything is possible. Especially, if you're a Christian too, I can understand that you still have to do your part, even if you're a Christian. So he has a long way to go. He has a lot more work to put in. He looks more confident. He looks a lot better. But until he gets that jumper, until he finds ways to probe defenses and keep his dribble alive and knowing when to stop and pop, knowing when to pull up for the three, knowing when to finish, which he hasn't added to his game yet, he's going to have a long way to go to get on one of these NBA roster and get some meaningful minutes, which means don't be mad, don't be angry, don't be frustrated. Like I said about a critique, just see what you have to do, continue to put in the work, continue to implement it in the game, trust your coach, trust your skill set, and actually continue to expand and grow. We all need bread and butter. We all need our go-to stuff, but we also need things that makes us evolve. So that way, if the defense does change or they do try to stop us, you got to continue to put in that work so you can be able to, if they sag off, give you space, pull up for the elbow jumper. They go under the screen, pull up for the three. These are things you're going to have to continue to work on if you really want to be serious as an NBA player. He's not an elite defender. He's not an elite finisher. So he has to continue to fill out the rest of his holes and polish up his game a lot more if he really want to take that next step. Best case scenario for him, though, is making it because he is 20. Ain't like he's a 25, 30-year-old still trying to figure it out. He's young. This is his first rookie season. This is his first season, playing in summer league and in the G League. So it's just still a learning experience. And now that he knows that he doesn't have enough, it's just about trusting himself and putting in the work. So let me know what you guys think. Will Trevon Duval make it to the NBA? Will he be just another guy that was a high lottery pick that didn't make it, wasn't good enough? Will he give up? Will he try to go overseas? Or will he continue to use the G League as a stepping stone to get to where he's trying to be, which is the NBA level? The more time you stay up late, the more work you put in, the better you have and the more confidence you have in your game because you're seeing the results in practice. And if you can put that into a game, it's hard, it's tough, but once you continue the repetition, it becomes muscle memory, and then it just becomes a part of who you are. And like I said, he's 20 years old. He got a long way to go, but that point guard position is deep. And on top of that, the NBA competition even getting harder. There's going to be some new people in the draft. There's going to be another summer league. So you got to be able to keep your spot while also continuing to improve to take somebody else's spot just to stay and get a chance to prove yourself in the league. So it's going to be some people this year in the draft this season, after this season over, that's going to be trying to take his spot. And they're going to be fighting for a two-way contract, and they're going to be trying to fight to make it to the NBA. Continue to work on your game is all you can do because it's a business. Everybody replaceable, everybody expendable, even the superstars. We're starting to see that now. A lot of these superstars are getting traded. Check out my website, AnalysisPlayground.com. Link will be in the description comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, AnalysisPlayground.com. Link will be in the description comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Also, check out my Spreadshirt. There you can find t-shirts, sweaters, and hoodies. Even things like a mouse pad, water bottle, cell phone cases, and even a mouse case. Mouse pad. Thanks for supporting the brand. Thanks for supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball. Not since I'm gone. I love making these videos. You guys enjoy watching. That's why I continue to go. And let me know what you guys think about Trevon Duval career in the comment section below.